All right. Oh, my gosh. Well, happy Saturday to every single one of you on this call. Definitely send out some last-minute reminders. I know it's Easter weekend, so happy Easter to every single one of you. Gosh, I am so excited to be here today. Even if it is a holiday weekend, I love spending an hour with you guys on a day like this, especially with so many exciting things happening right now. So welcome to the team call. Definitely send those invites out because this call is going to rock, you guys. The people that I have lined up for this call today, it is going to be one for the books, I'm telling you. So I should introduce myself. My name is Michelle Barnes. I am an Elite 3 out in Highlands Ranch, Colorado. I've actually been in this amazing, crazy-ass profession now, excuse French, for 28 years, if you can believe that. More than half my life, which is just absolutely freaking insane to even say that. I feel like I'm only 28, so I don't know how that's freaking possible. Thank God for collagen, right? Anyway, I absolutely love this company. I love this profession. I love everything that we're doing. And I will tell you, Cliff Notes version of my story, because people are like, 28 years, what the heck? And so I've been with this company, with Modere, for 8 years. The first 20 years, it was awesome. But I will tell you, the last 8 years, we've had more success in the last 8 years than we probably did in the first 20 combined, and we crushed it in the first 20, put it that way. So 28 years ago, I was a broke law school dropout. I was $80,000 in debt from college and law school. I went to CU Boulder and then went to law school out in LA for a year, and I just realized I was on the wrong path. How many of you ever felt like that, where you're just like, man, there's got to be something else out there. There's got to be more. I'm on the wrong path. My internal GPS system was like, you're going the wrong way. It's this like big flashing light. But I spent $30,000 for 1 year of law school, so I was like, great. Now what? Now what am I going to do? I've wanted to be an attorney since I was like 14 years old. Why? I have no idea. Anyway, I probably saw it on a TV show, and it looked really cool to do cases and things like that. But anyway, here I was, 23 years old, $80,000 in debt, waiting tables and bartending, because I was making more money doing that than I could with my sociology criminology degree. And I was a personal trainer at the time, so I've always had a passion for health and fitness and nutrition and wellness. And I was interning for a couple miserable attorneys, and I looked at their life, and I was like, dang, that's going to be me. Like, if I don't get out of here, like, that's going to be me. They were making a ton of money, guys, but they were miserable. How do you know people like that? I will say, when people say money can't buy happiness, those are usually broke people, because I will say I've been very, 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 very broke. Like I said, $80,000 in debt. I was living paycheck to paycheck, if that, had way more month at the end of my money. And I will tell you, having finances not be an issue for the last 28 years, I will tell you life is better when money's not an issue. The things you can do with your family, the choices that you can make with money rather without it. And money just gives you options, guys, and money just makes you more of who you are. If you're a kind person when you're broke, you're going to be an even kinder person when you're wealthy. If you're a jerk when you're broke, you're probably going to be a bigger jerk when you're wealthy. So if you're a kind, awesome person, go out there. If you have the wherewithal to make money not an issue in your life, then make money not an issue in your life. I think every single person on this call has the wherewithal to go out there and make money not an issue, and especially with this vehicle, But I was taught to go to school, get good grades, go to college, get a job, start at the bottom, and work my way to the top. Well, who do you know that's actually done that? Like, who really starts at the bottom, makes it to the top, and ends up being the CEO and ends up being financially independent, living on an island? Doesn't freaking happen, right? But here, you are starting at the top, and you're building a dynasty. You're building an empire, whether it be a little or a lot, whatever your goals are, we can teach you how to do it here. That's what's so fantastic. My goal was just to make an extra $500 a month. That's all I wanted, guys. I thought if I could make an extra $500 to $1,000 a month and start chiseling away at this $80,000 mound of debt that I created, I would be so freaking ecstatic. Think about it, $500 to $1,000 a month. That's an extra $6,000 to $12,000 a year. I'd like those of you who are brand new or who maybe aren't making an extra $500 to $1,000 a month, how would that change your life? What would an extra $1,000 a month do for you? Now, I know I've got some rock stars on this call that are like, oh, my God, if it was $1,000 a month, I'd be broke. I'd be in the poorhouse, okay, because some of you are absolutely crushing it in this business right now. But a lot of people, the majority of people get started just to make an extra $500 to $1,000 a month. If you would have told me when I was 23 years old, when I first got started in this business, that I would never make less than six figures, Guys, because I fell in love with this business. I accidentally made $102,000 my first year, and it's never gone below that. And that is not to brag or impress you. That's just to let you know, dude, like if I can do it, so can you, okay? Like I was nothing special. What a lot of you bring to the table here compared to what I brought to the table, I mean, guys, I'd never even had a real job. What I did bring to the table was a desire. I brought to the table a desire for a better life. I was super coachable, okay? Maybe not right at the beginning. I kind of tried to do it my own way, and then I was like, maybe I should fail their way first. They were making money, so I tell people that all the time. I'm like, dude, I've never made less than 6 figures. Fail my way first. Like, if you want to try to reinvent the wheel, like, good luck with that, but why not fail our way first? And that's the coolest thing about our team and what we have going on. We have literally everything in place for you. You don't have to create or do anything. All you got to do is plug into the systems that we have and do what the successful people are doing, and you will get the results they've got. And you're going to hear from some amazing ones this weekend, some that are literally like just got started a hot second ago, who are already crushing it because of the systems and the tools that we have in place here, and the leadership and the amazing products, you name it. So anyway, fast forward 28 years later, I'm a single mama, sole provider. I have 2 absolutely freaking amazing teenage boys. They are the love of my life, and I have a puppy that is right here, and he's gagging. So if you hear him gagging, I don't know what he's doing. His name's Truman. He's also the love of my life. But I will tell you, being a single mom and a sole provider, thank God I have this business. Thank God I'm able to take my kids to school. I'm able to pick them up. There are 2 teenagers, 2 different schools, playing 2 different sports, all the things. But because of this business, when you can build a business from the palm of your hand in 28, 29 countries, how freaking awesome is that, you guys? But you just got to do it, right? And so like I said, I had a desire for a better life. I was super coachable, and I was willing to work. I mean, I was already freaking working hard, you guys. I was working doubles at the restaurant every day. I was personal training. I was teaching classes at 5 o'clock in the morning. So I was already working hard. You're going to work hard no matter what you do, guys. Whether you sign up for the 40-year plan to work 40-plus hours a week and, you got someone telling you when to come, when to go, when to pee, when to eat, that just wasn't my jam. I'm definitely unemployable. Okay, how many on this call are unemployable? I mean, like literally, like anytime I had anything like even remotely like a real job, I was like, wait a minute, you want me to do this again tomorrow? Like show up like this again tomorrow and the next day and the next day? Like crazy to me. So definitely if you're entrepreneurial, if you're business minded, if you have that little entrepreneurial spirit, you're going to freaking love this business but you got to work, right? It's not going to build itself. And so I will tell you in the last 8 years, John Melton and I, he's my brother from another mother, we've known each other for over 20 years. Him and Nadia and I, we brought our teams over here to this company a little over 8 years ago, and it's the best decision we could have ever made. And I will tell you what made it the best decision is our dual-sided comp plan, okay? Because in a typical network marketing company or a typical multi-level, like most companies like that are set up, it's like if you're not a good recruiter, you're not going to make good money. You're not going to make any money, okay? And most people aren't good at recruiting unless they're willing to get good at it or they have a lot of influence or whatever. And so with a dual-sided comp plan, I mean, people can make a part-time or full-time income without ever recruiting a single soul. They can make up to 36% on a daily basis by just being excited. They lose 20 pounds. They start talking about what the collagen's done for their life, what these products have done for their life. Next thing you know, they're getting paid twice a day, and they haven't recruited anybody. We've got people making, a couple grand a month, 5,000, 10,000, 20,000 a month just on the customer side of our business without even building a team, without recruiting. Now, obviously, a lot of those satisfied customers are the best people to do the business because they already believe in the products. And it's just a very natural thing. Guys, we talk about things we love all the time. So whether you decide to go out and do the 40-year plan, 40-plus hours a week, building someone else's business, building someone else's life, building someone else's dreams, if you choose to do that, cool, that's awesome. But why not do something on the side? Like for me, when I started, I thought, man, even if it takes me 5 years to make $5,000 a month passive residual income, is it worth it? Hell yeah, it's worth it. Guys, do you realize less than 5% of the American population makes over $5,000 a month working their freaking faces off? Working their faces off, being away from their kids, commuting, leaving early in the morning, coming home late at night. And, there are people out there that love their careers, and that's awesome. But I would say the majority don't. They're doing it just to get by. Well, life's too short to just get by, don't you think? So whatever you want out of this business, you can get, okay? Like I said, whether you want to make a little or a lot, we can teach you how to do exactly that. Now, I will tell you, if there was ever a time for you to just smash the freaking reset button, if you've been around for a while, now is the time to smash the reset button. Guys, mark your calendar, set an alarm on Monday morning at 11:30 Eastern, 9:30 Mountain Time in our One Voice group. There is going to be the most epic announcement made that I've ever heard in the 8 years of being here, okay? If you're ready to launch, if you're ready to relaunch, now is the time. You want to set a freaking alarm on Monday morning. If you can't and you're working, catch the replay, because the announcements that's going to be made on Monday is going to rock your world, okay? I've never, ever seen our company do this, ever. I've never seen any company do what's about to be announced on Monday morning. Guys, next weekend we won't have a global team call because many of us are going to be in Dallas, Texas for the Director Dash. If you can get to Dallas next weekend, come to Dallas in person. There's nothing like an in-person event. The only reason I am who I am today is because of live events. I've been going to live events for 28 years. I mean, I used to go to month in, month out. I don't miss events, period, okay? If you can get there live, get there live. If not, do the virtual tickets, like $20 or something absolutely insane, ridiculous. But that's Friday night and Saturday. So get your virtual ticket. It's posted in MLife. It's posted in Rhino Nation. If you need the link, let us know and we'll get you the link. But sign up, commit, put the time chunks aside, and be really present, even if you're virtual. But if you can be there in person, come hang out with us because we are a damn good time, okay, I must say. So Tuesday, April 2nd, also, Sarah Zalecki is going to be doing an opportunity event. It's going to be a Zoom at 6 p.m. Mountain Time, 8 p.m. Eastern for you to drive traffic to, okay? Be a body dragger, y'all, okay? We used to say the person who puts the most butts in the seats makes the most money. Well, you put butts in virtual seats these days, you know? That's just, things are just different than they were back then. But the reason why I made $102,000 my first year is because I was a freaking body dragger, dude. I was just like, I am going to introduce every human to this opportunity because I think it's the best thing that's ever happened could be the best thing that's ever happened to anyone, okay? So, guys, we have 2 days left in the month. We have a couple days left, and we always have a couple days to backdate, okay? So jump in your back office, see where you are on the team building side, see where you are on the customer side, and let us help you, okay? It ain't over till it's over, all right, guys? Like, I will push volume through until they're like, Michelle, it's April, okay? But it ain't over till it's over. And you're going to be so excited that you created the momentum right now going into April and May because, like I said, the announcements you're going to hear on Monday morning are going to be insane. So I can't wait to see you guys in Dallas. Come see us. Come hang out with us. We are going to have a blast next weekend. That training will absolutely put you 6 to 9 months ahead in the business, beyond a shadow of a doubt, okay? So I am so excited. I am so excited to have you hear from these amazing, amazing, amazing speakers, you guys, okay? It's the end of the month. We still got a couple days. I know tomorrow's Easter. But I know a lot of you are still pushing like crazy and having a blast doing it. It's been so much fun. I want to give a huge shout out to our UK team that is absolutely smashing it. More rank advancements in a month than I've probably ever seen. John, we can't even keep up with them. We literally can't even keep up with them. So shout out to Beth Brannon and her entire organization and Gunnar, they are just, like I said, absolutely smashing it. So we're going to have a lot of new elites in the house, 1s, 2s, 3s, all the things, which is freaking awesome. So with that said, let's go to our first speaker, who is an absolute dear, 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 dear friend of mine. He lived here in Colorado, moved away, and now he's back and lives about 5 minutes away from me, which is so, so exciting. And Brian, I don't even remember we always try to figure out how many years we go back. Brian is a dear friend of mine, Brian Stinar. He's a silver senior consultant. He's had amazing, amazing results on these products. I'm not even going to steal his thunder. I want you guys to be able to hear his story. But when you hear his story about the collagen and the lean body system, like, you are going to want to not only get on it yourself if you're not, but you're going to want to share these products with every human alive, okay? So, Brian, you are crushing it on both sides of the business. I know you've got some amazing, incredible goals for this year. Brian's an opera singer, y'all, an amazing opera singer. He's a voice teacher. His students have gone on to do some of the most phenomenal things in the world. And I'm going to make him brag on himself a little bit because he never does. So, Brian, are you out there?
Hello, my friend. I am here.
Yay.
Wow.
Okay, I'm going to make you brag on yourself. It's time.
Oh.
So how many years have we known each other?
We have known each other for 18 years now. Wow.
Oh,
I'm so blessed. So blessed.
Oh, so am I, my friend. So am I. I love you to pieces. I'm so grateful you're in my life. And guys, that's what's so amazing about this business. You know, some people get caught up at well, I'm just not salesy and bleh. And I'm like, you know what? Like the relationships that you will find and create and build in this business, there's nothing like it. There's absolutely nothing like the relationships. Brian is one of my best friends on the entire face of the planet. I can't imagine life without you, my friend. So let's do this. Let's start off. I want you to brag about yourself. Tell these guys, Cliff Notes version of your story, what you used to do, what you do, how you got here, what you're excited about.
All right. I am glad to do that, brag about myself. Wow. I'm not very good at that. But I am a professional opera singer. I am a tenor. I'm a voice professor. I sang professionally over 35 different operas all around the world. My students have gone on to, great careers on Broadway and all over. They're just, wonderful, wonderful people. I taught at Denver School of the Arts for 14 years, which is kind of like a fame high school. So I've just had a wonderful, wonderful chance to do what I really came to love. I grew up on the Iowa-Minnesota border. I'm a good Norwegian boy. I come from a little resort lake called Lake Okoboji, which is a stunning, beautiful place in the middle of absolute nowhere. And I have lived in Colorado for 25 years. And I have really, really loved my time out here. And I slowly got to know Michelle, and I'm ever, ever thankful for that. But right before COVID, I had an absolutely terrible, terrible injury, and I fell directly to my left where you can't, brace yourself. And instead of falling on my shoulder, I reached out like an idiot, I guess, and my armpit hit the ground. My shoulder came out of the socket a good 6 inches. I tore all my ligaments. I tore all my nerves, and I broke my joint, and I tore my cuff. And I lost my ACL in my left knee, and I lost my inside meniscus. So it was a freak accident. And
dude, I just got chills all over my body.
It was a freak accident. And then, because the nerve damage was so great, I had to wait an entire year like that because your nerves only grow like a millimeter or so every few months. So they had to slowly measure them every few months with a certain machine that I don't remember what it is, so that they could know which nerves and tendons to move to different places so I could regain use of my fingers and my wrist and my hand. So I had a giant meat stick for about a year hanging off of me. In 2 months, I couldn't even feel anything. I thought I might actually have it amputated, sadly. It was pretty devastating. It was pretty scary. I mean, that was COVID trauma that came a year after that. So in the midst of that, I was sad. None of us were working. I had this horrible injury. I was parked on the couch. I finally did get surgery before COVID, which I'm thankful for, at the University of Iowa hospitals, and they reconstructed everything and moved all my tendons around. But I was not allowed to do anything besides go to PT for 2 hours a week and occupational therapy for 2 hours a week. And even though I am an extremely perseverant, consistent kind of person, I had to become an opera singer. I know hard practice. I couldn't move. I couldn't go to the gym. I gained 70 pounds. And, kind of thought life was over. It was a pretty traumatic time. And I'm pretty thankful at that time, after 3 years of that struggle and a ton of drugs, tons of steroids, all sorts of things, Michelle stepped in and kind of said, hey, what's up? I think I have some products that maybe you should, check out. And I am forever thankful for that opportunity. And I guess I should be upfront. I am, a very blessed person. I mean, I have a very unique perspective. Michelle's been my friend for almost 20 years. I'm no stranger to, blue ink on blue cards. I have thoughts become things tattooed on the left inside of my arm from my grandma's handwriting. So she's had a huge influence on my life. But, I was busy being a professional opera singer. And I was really, really busy, and I was loving life until I wasn't. and I'm really thankful for all the science and all the innovation with Modere and with what Michelle offered, because I'm no longer on any drugs. I'm no longer on steroids, and the collagen and the trim and the prebiotics have, literally saved and changed my life.
Wow. That during that time, Brian, I was just thinking back while you're talking, and I just remember how sad you were and how heartbroken and how, like, it just literally, that whole situation just stole your joy. And I've always known you to be this bright light with these big, bright blue eyes and energy for days and always positive. And I just remember seeing such a broken side of you that I'd never seen. And I literally remember just praying, like, just get on this collagen, just get on these products. Like, I don't know if it's going to make a difference, but it could change your life. And I'm so grateful that it did. And I love seeing the smile in your, this big smile on your face and that sparkle in your eyes and that, skipping your step again. It just, like, makes me so happy. And guys, we have, like, such a bigger purpose here with this business and these products. And I hope nobody ever takes it for granted. Sure, it's a great way to bring in another stream of income, but when you can change someone's life that you care about or change someone's life that you don't even know and you've never even met, like, there is not a better feeling in the world than that. So, Brian, tell these guys, because I know your weight loss journey has been phenomenal as well as your collagen journey. Dude, I mean, you're ripped as all get out. I mean, your legs look like freaking tree stumps. So freaking, like, tell us your weight loss story, too.
Yeah. Well, I'm blessed that I was an athlete in my life. I taught spin class. So I had learned to go from a skinny little Norwegian kid and grow with my body. But when you lose it all for that many years, I was in severe joint pain. I had massive inflammation. I had arthritis setting in. I do have celiac disease, so I had all that inflammation, and I was eating whatever I want because I was sad. I couldn't move my knee. I couldn't go to the gym because I couldn't do anything that would move my shoulder and hurt those little tiny nerves that they had retied and sewn together. So I felt pretty trapped. But the BioCell, holy buckets. I mean, the BioCell is just shockingly amazing. And my doctors were shocked because most people can get steroids injected into their body like every 3 months. My doctors approved me on my knee and my shoulder every month if I wanted it because it was so severe. I no longer take any of that. The BioCell brought down the inflammation so much that they were just, kind of just blown away and shocked themselves. And they were actually quite interested, in the product and in what I was doing. It did take me, it's been a year and 4 months. I have lost 55 pounds with the trim, and I just started going back to the gym 2 months ago because my body was finally healed enough that they said, hey, try the gym, go to the gym, and I'm loving it. I'm in the gym. I'm going for it. I'm having a blast. I've got another 15 pounds to go to get where I would like to be. I'm feeling great. The trim has made a huge difference in reducing those fat cells and shrinking all of that, making my body feel leaner, stronger. And, that inflammation amazingly did great work for my celiac disease as well. The prebiotic and the BioCell, I think, has really, really changed that for me. And to be honest, I finally feel like I'm super happy again, and I've jumped on the uplift for the last 2 months, and I'm absolutely loving what that's doing for me. So, I mean, I feel like coming full circle in what's happened for me, these products were just absolute game changers, and I'm so thankful for each and every one of them.
I love it. And just for those of you that maybe it's your first time hopping on a call, our lean body system actually attacks the white visceral fat, like gut, love handles, back fat, thighs, kind of those problem areas that tend to stick around no matter what we do. The trim tastes amazing. It's like chocolate pudding. There's a bunch of different flavors, but has clinical strength CLA in it, so it inhibits fat storage. I mean, it's just freaking amazing. It also has collagen in it. And then our BioCell is the collagen, liquid collagen, 7 patents, 37 clinical studies. Uplift is our brand new mental health line. I will tell you that it has been a game changer for me as well, being a single mom and running businesses and teenage boys. Like, I've noticed that I am just way more chill. I'm way more content. I'm way happier. I'm not as snippy with my kids, if any of you can relate to that. Hopefully I'm not the only mom that is snippy with them sometimes. But I will tell you, it's been amazing. And then the Prebiotic that Brian talked about is our gut health line. And so seriously, guys, at the end of the day, who doesn't want to lose a few pounds, get rid of wrinkles, get rid of aches and pains, have more energy, have better gut health, feel better, do better, all these things, right? Get rid of stress, anxiety, things like that, depression. I mean, like, we can't make medical claims, guys, but just try it. Once you try it, you'll know yourself. So, Brian, one of the biggest things that stuck out to me, I've always said, dig the well before you need the water. And that's one of the greatest things about this business is that if you can start bringing in an extra $500 or $1,000 a month or a couple thousand a month, and for those of you that that could literally change your entire life. But, you never know what's going to happen down the road. And so to have that extra income coming in that you can literally just take some of the time that you're wasting right now, right? Whether it's scrolling and trolling on Facebook, social media. I mean, think about how, you get stuck in the scroll hole and like 45 minutes later, you're like, oh, well, crap. And it didn't make your life better in any way. So why not get paid to be on social media, right? Why not leverage the social media platforms out there to change your life and your family's life? So, Brian, give these guys your best tips on building the business. You're crushing it in your stories. You have been so good and so diligent about learning how, like following Stacy Hall and a lot of other people, learning how, Michelle Churchill, and implementing what they're doing, which I always say, find people who have the results you want, do what they do, and you'll get what they got. You know what I mean? And you just got to take action. And through that action, you're going to learn how to get better and better and better at it. So give these guys your best tips as far as that goes.
Yeah, exactly. Sure. I love what you said about not being employable. I have not been employable all my life. I've actually never been employed. I've been a 1099 lifer. I mean, I've always been my own boss. So having that ripped away during COVID and with an injury, I always wish I would have had a second stream of income going for me this entire time. So don't wait for a trauma to happen in your life. Get something else going that you can use in your life and make a big, change for yourself. Tip-wise, oh my gosh, the systems are in place with this company. They're already there. All you have to listen, watch, and duplicate. And oh my gosh, coming at it with love and with gratitude. There are so many wonderful people in this company to help you build and watch, what's happened before you, what you need to do. I have a great story. I was a professional storyteller on stage telling operas and, poets and composers, and now I have my own story. But if you don't have a story, oh my gosh, social retail changing the game in that community group, online, you can learn so much from other people to, tell your story and to watch what they're doing. But yes, I've had a blast with Michelle Churchill, Stacy Hall, listening to terminology from you and John Melton and Margie Alcrady, all these wonderful people that you can just let all of that absorb in and be able to duplicate that and help, tell your own story and convey what you want to. But I'm just saying you don't have to reinvent the wheel. The wheel's rolling, and you just need to jump on board and enjoy the process and have fun, because I'm actually having a blast, and I'm actually all in. I once had 6 figures that I had ripped away, and you can't stop me now. I'm really looking forward to this next year.
I love it, Brian. I love working with you. It's so much fun. I know we have some big, hairy, audacious goals for this year to get you to 6 figures, get you to that elite status, which I know, like, a lot of times, those of you who are teachers or have teaching background, you guys crush it more than anybody because you already love being an educator, so teach people how to become financially independent. Teach people how to lose weight and feel great. That's all it is. And like Brian said, we have the systems and tools and everything in place to totally make that happen. So any other tips or advice that you want to give these guys before we go to the next speaker?
I think you just really need to be authentic, really be yourself. And I think I could be a lot farther along. This last year has been a struggle. I've still been getting on my feet. This has been a large trauma. But you know what? People relate to other people. They don't want to see perfection. They don't want to wait till you're perfect. Tell your story, the good, the bad, the ugly. Get out there and express yourself, because people would actually like to follow your journey. So as you're making a transformation, as you're telling your journey, get online and tell about it and go live. Oh my gosh, I cannot stress go live enough. I was chicken at first, And every time I go live, I pick up more people. I pick up new customers. I pick up more interest. I can make tons of videos. I'm great at graphic design, and I do that, and I do that, and I do that. But as soon as I tell my story and I'm authentic, people respond to that.
Mm-hmm.
So I would really encourage you just tell your story and be yourself, because that's what people relate to.
Yes, I agree with you so much, Brian. I mean, I look at, the top, customer pod people in our team, the top recruiters, people like Michelle Churchill, Ashley Dawes, Christina Camarada. They're doing the same thing every single day. They are just sharing their story day in and day out. And it's awesome because you don't have to be creative and come up with new content. You just share your story, and then you help people on their journey. So, Brian, I love you to pieces. Congratulations. I know this year is going to be the best year you've ever had yet, and they're only going to get better from here on out. And I am just so excited. Wait till you hear what's going to be announced on Monday. Like, this is going to pour massive fuel on the fire that you already have going, my friend. So thank you for being you. I love you to pieces, and let's get together soon. I love you.
Love you too. Take care.
All right. Our next speaker, okay, she's been here at Modere for literally like a hot second, okay? I think it's like maybe her first month in the business. She's already hit Platinum 1 and Director 1. Platinum 1 is 5,000 points in her customer pod. Director 1 is 12,000 in team volume. Coming to us live from North Carolina, I believe. Her and I have been chatting back and forth. I mean, she's just crushing it, guys, and I can't wait to hear her story. I can't wait for you guys to hear exactly what she's been doing to just crush it in her first month here. So, Rachael, are you out there?
I am here from the sunny south of the U.S. and enjoying the weather.
All right. Welcome, sister. So excited to have you here at Modere, excited to have you in our team, excited for you to share your story with everybody on the call today.
Yeah, and I'm excited to share. It's a huge passion of mine. This industry was something I didn't really know much about when I got into it. So I've been in the industry for about 11 years. And prior to that, I was a math teacher, and then I was a sexuality educator. But I was up in New York, and my family decided we were moving south to get out of the gray and the cold and the snow. It's not for us. And when I came down here, I discovered that the teacher salary I would be taking a massive income hit. So I thought, okay, well, what can I do? My sister did Party Light back forever ago, and I remember her setting up tables and doing events, but that's what I didn't know there was compensation. Like, I didn't know anything about direct sales.
Right.
So it wasn't in my mind. But I did start a tutoring company in the Raleigh-Durham area, the capital area, and that was pretty successful. I was making good money, but the only time I had students was in the evening, and I had 3 little ones. Well, I had 2 little ones at home at the time, and I was missing all of their after-school events. I mean, they'd come home from school, I'd say, hi, bye, off I go to my clients, and I didn't like it. It was eating at me pretty bad. And then my husband would have all the pictures he's sending of all the things they would do, like sports and the math and science fair, which obviously I would love because I was a math teacher. And I was just like, I don't love this. And I joined a fitness direct sales company, and I started making some extra money, but I didn't really get involved. I was kind of like one of those part-timers that just kind of sells the products and supports their people, but I still didn't really know the potential that there is in network marketing. And then I started training. Actually, I started following John Mellon, and he was my upline. Yes, and I was like, oh my gosh, there's so much more than I realized. And so I decided, all right, I'm going to get serious. I'm going to take these tips and tricks he teaches, and I'm going to start implementing and see if I can make $1,000 a month. In over 3 months, I started making $1,000 a month, and I had told my husband, if I can make $1,000 a month within a few months, then obviously I can do this, and I'm going to stop tutoring, and I'm going to do this full time. And so 10 years ago, I went full time. Really, really loved the industry. One of the companies that I was with, I did very well there, but it was more of a ma and pa type of network marketing company, very sweet, very humble, but it wasn't very big. And I know in my heart I'm big. Like I have a lot of passion for the industry, and I knew I could do more and have a bigger impact. And so I've been researching health and wellness companies. I'm very holistic too. So I wanted to make sure there wasn't junk in the supplements that I was going to be providing for people. And I loved Modere. I loved the compensation plan. I loved seeing all of the leaders and the people winning, and really, truly the dual-sided compensation plan I thought was fabulous, because so many of my teammates in the past aren't very skilled or desiring to recruit a bunch of people, but they're really good at talking about the products. And so I thought, well, shoot, this is perfect for people like that. They could make a good income. I mean, making up to 36% commission, like, that's really great. So I went for it. Yes, my anniversary was Thursday. That was my 4-week anniversary on just a couple days ago. And, yeah, I promoted 9 times. 9 times. It's been wonderful. It's been very relieving for my family to be able to be here, like, you know, not being in the education system I guess it was like 8 to 4 or so, having to take time out if my kids were sick and having to get daycare lined up and all of that. That's not how I envisioned being a mom. I envisioned being a mom and that being my job. Like, I want to be there for anything my children have, and I wasn't. When I was in the classroom and my kids were sick, my husband would have to go. You know, he'd leave and he'd go pick them up from daycare when they were little, and he would do all of those things. And I don't know. I think I started realizing that I wasn't meant to be an employee, when I disagree with everything administration ever said. I was just like, you know, teacher, when you decide to go teaching, you're like, I love teaching, I love learning, I want these kids to really grow, and I know I have the tools to do this, and I'm going to make a difference. And then you actually get in the classroom, and they're like, no, you have to teach to the test. It doesn't matter that you have a whole varying range of students' abilities. You just have to teach this way. And it crushed my spirit. It really did. And so when I tutored, that was a little better, because those were kids that wanted to learn. Those were parents that wanted their kids to succeed. So I could, you know, personalize it to them. Yeah. But then again, it was exchanging my time for money, and that time is so important to me. We are on this planet for such a short period of time, and I want to make an impact on my children always. Always. Mm-hmm.
Gosh, I love that so much, Rachael. And I felt the same way, you know, when I was working with those interning with the attorneys. I was the only female in the office, and I've known since birth I wanted to be a mom. And I just thought, how am I going to be the kind of mom I want to be if I'm stuck in an office 80-plus hours a week? Because I know my personality. I'd want to, like, not only be in the firm, I'd want to be I'd want to be a partner. I'd want to own a firm, you know. And I'm like, how the hell am I going to do that and be a good mom too? But girl, 9 promotions in your first freaking month. Are you kidding me right now? Like, that is so badass, girl. That is freaking awesome.
Thanks.
Congrats on that, sister. So excited for you. So proud of you. So what have you been doing? How the hell have you gone P1 and D1? Because now, congrats, you already, you know, won a trip to New Leader Conference in Utah, which is actually my favorite Modere event, because it's smaller and the training is just power-packed. And the fun that you have, I went to the very first one we ever had, and it was by far my most favorite Modere event. It's awesome. I can't wait for you to experience that. So give these guys your best tips. Like really take the gloves off and tell them, what have you done to build your business to where it is on both sides of the comp plan?
Okay. Well, the first thing I'm going to piggyback with what Brian said is be authentic. And I know so many people, and I've worked, so in the last 4 or 5 years since I've been in my transition looking for the perfect company, I've been coaching clients. I've been taking people from other network marketing companies and teaching them how to succeed. And I actually think that's really boosted my ability. And like, I've taught them, but I haven't necessarily implemented it because I've been quiet with direct sales. I've been just focusing on coaching. And I'm telling you, when you actually start listening to your coach, which is myself in this situation, it really works. One, the authenticity, any struggles that you've had. Like, I find that a lot of people just want to share their successes, but that's not as relatable as to the people that you want to help. And so when we're authentic, we're getting people to really know us and like us and trust us, and going live and creating reels and doing multiple stories every day. Not just customer testimonials, but you in your life, cooking food, gardening, playing with chickens. Like, you want your audience to know you so that they start liking you and trusting you. Now, not everybody's going to like you, and that's totally fine, because everybody has different personalities. I think one thing for sure I would say is don't worry about it. If people start unfollowing you, then they're not people that you are there to help. So that's something I find is a barrier for a lot of people. but it doesn't matter, because if you're creating reels and you're going live, you're gaining audience. If you're using Facebook groups to meet new people and just build connections with them, they're going to see your stuff. And if they're the right people, they're going to be coming to building those relationships, having conversations, and they're like, oh my gosh, you're the person that can help me, which is a big part of it. When we're showing up on social media, we are showing that we are the solutions to people's problems. And it's not just showing before and after pictures. It's not just talking about the supplements. In my world, it's all, I'm a big mindset and confidence and self-esteem and whole health. Like, you want to be well. And so I talk about that. I give tips on how to gain muscle. And it doesn't necessarily have to do with Modere products. It's maybe just making sure to hit 100 grams of protein a day, making sure to drink your water every day, making sure to move your body, even if it's just doing squats before going to the bathroom. Like, these tips that help people be interested in following me, because I give them solutions. And then at some point when they might discover, wow, this just isn't enough, I need Rachael to help me more. And that's when it's like a constant influx of people going, okay, I tried this, it's not working, help me, because I'm stuck. And I find that works.
Yes.
Another tip I have is, and this is another barrier that I see a lot of network marketers do, and it does get in the way of their success, is excuses. And I'm not saying excuses aren't legitimate. They absolutely are. Some days are the worst. I mean, something can happen dramatically in your life where you don't want to go on social. You don't want to talk to people. But treat yourself like your CEO and your employee. You're the same person. And what would you do as a CEO to that employee if they have refused to show up? Well, you'd fire them. So we can't do that. We have to show up. If we're not bringing our best energy, that's okay, but we're still showing up. We're still going live. We're still creating content. We're still getting in people's message boxes and letting them know, we're here for you. We're here for you. I'm not in the best of moods today. You know, something really horrible happened, but I'm here and I want to help you. You don't have to let them know that. They might detect it from your tone, but hey, you're still there. And then when it comes to the conversations, like, okay, so you're doing all of these things, people are coming in, have the conversations revolve around your prospect. If your prospect is coming to you and they want to know something, they're looking for this, ask them, okay, what are your goals? What have you tried before? Let them know that you truly do care and you're going to find the perfect solution for their problem, and not be spammy, not just, oh, here's my link, go ahead and check it out. Like, there's a total system, but what's great is with this team, we have the checklist. We have exactly how to have the conversations. We have everything there. I mean, if you print it off and you're looking at it and it's time for you to have a conversation with a prospect, a lead, somebody who's interested in your product, you have a guide to walk you through it, even if you're brand new. And I love that for my teammates. And I talk about that. And I think that's how I'm able to recruit many people and have many customers. And every time I have a customer that's interested, I authentically say, because like you, Michelle, I love this company. I cannot, like, I talk about it with my husband every night, and I'm like, I can't believe I'm getting so many butterflies. Like, I feel like I am home, and this is amazing. Everybody, even if they're not directly upline to me, the excitement and the motivation and the tips, and it's beyond anything I've experienced. And it's absolutely incredible. So when I think about it, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, and then I have to, when somebody's interested in a product and I see any sort of ability in them, if I notice something where I'm like, dang, they're like working out already and posting stories, they're already eating well and posting their menu items, like, and I'll tell them, I'll say, you know, it would be doing a disservice if I don't ask you, are you at all interested in the business opportunity? Because I see amazing things in you, and I think you could do this really, really well. They might not have even thought about it, but all of a sudden that seed is planted, and they're like, maybe I could. And so then they watch the video, and then they, you know, have a three-way chat with John or whomever else, and they're like, yeah, this is it. This is for me. If it doesn't work out, hey, I'm still getting products. I'm giving it a go. If they don't follow the system, they might not see success quickly, but they still could be making a few hundred a month. And who doesn't want a few hundred a month? I mean, that's definitely gas and maybe a dinner out or something, you know. So I always think don't just discredit the ability, the potential for somebody to say, yes, I am interested. It doesn't hurt to ask, especially if you're like, hey, you know what? I think you'd be great at this. Have you thought about it? Because it feels good to be told you're good. Yeah. Someone sees potential in you. Like, yeah, tell me that for sure. Those are my tips.
Oh my God, Rachael. I love that so much because I always tell people, if you don't ask, the answer is always no. And, if someone says no, okay, great. Nothing has changed in your life. They weren't in your business yesterday. They're not in your business today. Nothing has changed. But what if they say yes and they're a Rachael? What if they say yes and they're a Brian? What if they say yes and they're a Lisa? What if they say yes and they're a John Milton? Like, your entire freaking life could change. Right?
Yeah.
So, I was listening to this podcast the other day, and, it was talking about, ask bigger. Like, people, ask and it's given, right? And ask and you shall receive. And people are like asking, to have money to cover their electric bill instead of asking for their dream home. They're asking to fill up their car with gas instead of asking for a brand new car. Like ask and it's given. And so this lady on this podcast is funny. She was talking about Steve Harvey, and she said that he always says, up your ask, and God will up his give. That's what it was. So she said, up your ask, and God will up his give. And I was dying laughing because I was like, okay, that was freaking funny. But it's so true, right? Like, why aren't we asking for more? Like, the world is your oyster. Like, you get to determine your income here, So I just love that you're making it happen and you're being real and you're doing the thing. Waldo Emerson says, do the thing and you shall have the power. And when you take action, even if it's messy, things will start falling into your world, and you're going to start, as soon as you make a decision to just be successful and stick with it, God in the universe is going to guide the right people into your world and the circumstances and all the things. But you got to up your vibe, and that's another thing. Like, your vibe attracts your tribe. If you want to attract amazing humans, be an amazing human. This is not rocket science. So what else, Rachel, before we wrap up, what are some other, what are your final tips for the day?
Oh, I do love your up your vibe, because I do notice I used to attract, and I was actually talking about this with a client, I used to attract people that were desperate but didn't have drive. They were they just so badly wanted to be me, but they didn't have any drive. And I was looking, reflecting, why am I attracting these people? And it was definitely in the language that I was choosing to use. And it was about 4 or 5 years ago. I changed everything. I went all on. I will never be negative. I will never be I honestly, I live that way. When I start feeling like I'm speaking negatively to my husband or my children or my friends, well, it was never my friends, my husband and my kids. Sorry, guys. But I would get with them, and I'm like, okay, this is not productive at all. Like, why put out any negativity when we can always switch it to positivity? So I started reflecting that everywhere, any person's life I could touch, it was only positivity and optimism. And I noticed that people talk about not liking social media. I love social media. I love it. The people that I follow, the people that are in my circle are so wonderful. Like, I get on, I set a timer because otherwise I just get absorbed, but I'm just like winning, happy. Like, it just feels so very good. There was another thought I had and I can't recall. Shoot. Oh, that's one. So,
what was the language you changed? You said you changed your language.
Well, when
you were attracting desperate. You were attracting people that were desperate and had no drive, which, hi, welcome to America. Yeah. That's probably about 90% of people, but there are other Rachels out there. There are other Brians out there. There are people who live on a higher frequency that are vibing higher, and you just need to attract those people by being that person.
And so the posting, a lot of the times, I make sure every day, whether it's in a story or a post, I'm doing inspirational stuff. I always share stories of my journey, where I used to be. Honestly, when I was in my early 20s, I was not very nice. I would, intentionally so. I preferred to be mean than sad. I really did. And that was an honest reflection. And so I've shared that. And I'm like, that's not a good place to be. I didn't like myself at all. And in turn, I didn't like a whole lot of other things in life. I just was kind of negative. And I hated it. And so I talk about that a lot. Whether or not people... I think a lot of people are on a similar journey, and they don't really know how to focus on positivity and optimism. So that was one. But honestly, it was like I would be saying something like only $2, okay, that's excessive, but, only $5 to join and I can help you make money. Like, it was kind of desperate. The way I was pitching, and I would post this on social too. Like I look, sometimes my memory, I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, I definitely was speaking to ultra low income. It wasn't necessarily people looking to have a career, it was just people that were desperate and thought they could make a quick buck. And I definitely portrayed it in my posts that way. So it wasn't talking to the drivers. It wasn't talking to the people that know the potential of what happens if you work for yourself and you can, with a good compensation plan to back. It was definitely not talking to the right people. I don't know. That was definitely one of it. Making it sound like, yeah, that's definitely going to attract the people that I don't vibe with in general. I guess.
Yeah,
now
exactly.
Now it's more just look what this has done for me because I love it, because I put in work, because I follow systems. And now it's more people that are like, yeah, I could do that, instead of, oh, I could just make a quick buck. I think I've definitely grown a bit that area.
That's awesome. Well, and that's the thing. The more you do, the more confident. It's like the more you do, the more confidence you have. The more confidence you have, the higher quality and higher caliber of people you're going to attract and recruit. I mean, so that's why I would say do the thing. You shall have the power. And you said you have 3 kiddos, right?
Yeah, I do.
What are their ages?
Matt, my oldest, he'll be 16 in October. My 2 younger ones, one will be 13 in June, and the other will be 8 in June. So getting up there. I can't believe my little guy's going to be 13. That blows my mind. He's still 8 in my head.
Oh, girl, I get it. My youngest just turned 13 a couple weeks ago, and my oldest will be 16 in July. So and then I tapped out after that. I was already outnumbered. So I tapped out after that and got a puppy, but that's, it's like a third child. Well, I love that. And the reason why I ask is I want people to realize that, whether you are a busy professional, whether you're an entrepreneur and you own other businesses, whether or not you have kids or not, you can do this business. And if there are other people seeing success, so can you. So, Rachael, you're a rock star. I love you to pieces already. I'm so excited that you're here, excited you're crushing it. Thank you for sharing these tips and your story today. Is there anything you want to leave these guys with before we head on to Lisa?
The last thing is the analogy that you said something similar, and it made me think of it, and I think this is a really good point to make for those of you who need a little perspective shift. You are not going to be amazing at something when you first start it. Think about when you were in 4th grade and we had to do basketball and PE, and you've got 2 hands on the ball. You're dribbling like you're a klutzy, you're kicking the ball, but then we had to practice. And we learned, okay, dribble with one hand. Okay, chest passes. Everything gets better with practice. But if you refuse to try, like live videos, like stories, like reels, or conversations with people, if you refuse to try, you will not get better. It's okay to not be perfect. Nobody's going to judge you. Just keep doing it, and you will get better. Just like any sport, any professional athlete started knowing nothing, and look where they are now. It's the same concept when you're growing this type of business. That's it. That's my last one.
Exactly. I love it, girl. Well, thank you. Can't wait to meet you in person and give you the biggest hug ever. And just keep crushing it, sister. Awesome.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Well, last but absolutely not least, I love that you guys are all hanging in there, even on a holiday weekend. All right, our last speaker, guys, you do not want to miss this, and I hope you've been taking notes just like I have been. Even after 28 years, guys, I always learn something every single time I'm on one of these calls. And if you're not learning, if you're not growing, you're dying. Okay, so congrats to those of you who are still here and have been listening and taking notes. And the key is to go out and apply it. Don't be a professional learner. Okay, go out there and take action, take messy, dirty action, and just get better every single time, but do it every day. So last but not least, Lisa Galloway is crushing it, you guys. She's a Director 2. That's over 25,000 in team volume. She's a Platinum 3. That's over 9,000 in personal sales. Do the math, 36% without recruiting a single soul. So she's crushing it on both sides of the comp plan, guys. So I'm so excited. I know she's a wife. She's a mama. She's a coach. She loves coffee. She loves dogs. She's a foodie. She loves cheese. I'm like, this is my human right here. So, Lisa, are you out there?
I'm here. Happy Saturday.
Happy Saturday, darling. Good to have you on the call. I'm so excited to hear your story. So let's start with that.
Oh, well, mine's a little bit different from everybody else's. You know, you hear of people coming in and seeing the spoon online. I never saw the spoon. I was at a different company and had some success. My goal was weight loss. Obviously, I was a product user always first, but BioCell brought me here. BioCell is my hero product. Trim obviously is now, but I started with BioCell. I have an autoimmune, and one of the things that I found after losing 100 pounds was that I still didn't feel good. I still had some inflammation and things, so I'm an ingredients nerd, and I just started researching, and I found BioCell, and it has just been amazing for me. That's where I started. I started, taking the product. I'm like, okay, I've got to tell people about this, and it's just blossomed from there. I've been here since 2018, and again, my hero product's BioCell, but it's morphed into so much more since then. In 2020, my dad was diagnosed with cancer. I work full time. I have a daughter. She had just graduated high school, and I stopped life. My entire life stopped, and I went to every chemo, every radiation. He would not eat unless I was there. So I found myself eating so that my father would eat. If he wanted a bag of Hershey's Kisses, guess what? Lisa was eating a bag of Hershey's Kisses with him. So I had kind of gone backwards and gained about 50 pounds over that year until he passed. And I, again, had to kind of switch my thinking. I've always been a coach. I've always taught other people how to eat, how to move their bodies every day. But doing it for myself, I had become so consumed with doing for other people that I forgot about me. So I kind of had to switch gears. And let me just tell you, the lean body system and now the 5-day drop, I'm obsessed. Obsessed with the 5-day drop. So that's kind of where I started, and like I said, it has morphed into so much more. I work full-time. Like I said, my daughter is married and grown. My husband, he's gone, all but about 10 days a month. So I, at the time, was looking for that community. And that's, aside from product, obviously that's what brought me in was community. And I love the community that we have here. Love it.
Me too. Yeah. What do you do?
So here I am.
Did you say that?
I work for the Department of Energy. Actually, a buyer for their nuclear division in Idaho. But I have recently, in the last week, resigned. Now, I didn't do that. I've been thinking about it for a very long time. I was a stay-at-home mom for a long time, and when my daughter was about to graduate and go away to college, I was like, okay, I've got to do something to occupy my time. I'm a very, very ADHD person, so I'm constantly moving. So a job and coaching at 5 a.m., that just wasn't enough for me. So I had to find more to do. So, I took on this full-time job, and I love it, but I miss a lot of things with my husband. When he's here, I'm working. And it's like, I get home and it's like he's leaving again. I'm packing his bags again. So we've come to the decision as, I want to say older people. We're not way old, but we're in our 50s, and retirement's going to be coming in the next 10 years. And he told me, I don't know why you're working. Why don't you spend time with me? I'm like, I am not going to argue. Let me resign.
Yeah, you're
so that's what I did.
Like, done and done.
Right.
Girl, that's awesome.
Thank you. I'm excited.
You're crushing it in the business. I mean, to be Director 2 and P3, that's amazing, girl. So give these guys, take the gloves off, and really, as we wrap up this call today, give these guys some actionable steps. Like, what have you done? What are you doing? And especially with a full-time job with the Department of Energy, I mean, it's not like, you're obviously fitting this into the cracks of your life if you've had this job the whole time and you just resigned. So and that's the majority of people, right, who get started in this business, they start off part-time. So what would you tell that person to get to where you are in your business? What tips and training would you give them?
The first thing that I like to start with, the core belief for me is the servant heart. I'm huge into helping people feel the way I feel right now. And, I've added years to my life with these products and exercise and food choices. So serving people is where we need to start with our business. And that, yes, we find solutions for people, but it's not always weight loss. It may be collagen, just like Brian was talking about. It changed his life. It changed mine. So finding solutions and having that servant heart and listening to people, listening to what they need, not what we think they need. I spend a lot of time in chats, chatting with people, learning their habits, and helping them change those habits. So fitting it in between work, you go to the bathroom, you start a chat, you go walk around the office for a minute, you finish a chat. That's how I fit it in, and it's worked really well for me over the years, and it's helped keep my mind going 100 miles an hour, but I love it. I love seeing people lose weight. I love, Brian's story is phenomenal, the change that BioCell has had for him, and that's what we're after. My 70-year-old mom just did a 5K at Disneyland with me in February, and it's because of BioCell. She's had knee replacements after knee replacements, and the products, if we lead with that servant heart and find the product that works for that person and find the solution they need, that's where you build relationships and you build teams, because 99% of people that start this, they are product users. So if they love the product and they believe in it, they're going to run with this. And that's how I feel like I've been successful.
I love that so much, Lisa. And, I look across the board, and I was telling someone yesterday who's launching their business, I said, look, I said, when you build the heck out of your customer pod and you help people lose weight and feel great, they're going to naturally start telling people about these products, and they're going to naturally, a lot of them, not all of them, but a lot of them are going to convert themselves into social marketers. And then you're blessed to be building both sides of your business. And there's no better social marketer than someone who's, had success on the products. I know I've lost 32 pounds. I've kept it off for almost 5 years now. I feel better at 52 than I did in my 30s. My skin looks better at 52 than it did in my 30s. My knees don't hurt anymore. It's like this stuff works. Just get it in people's bodies, right?
Right. So that's how I feel.
Yes. We just need to get louder, and you got to be more bold, you guys. Be bold. Yes. If there's anything that I can say from listening to Brian and Rachael and Lisa, be bold. What do you got to lose?
Absolutely.
Nothing,
Absolutely.
So that is awesome, Lisa. Well, I'm so excited for you. Is there any other tips that you could share with these guys before we wrap up for the day?
The only tip that I have, other than personal development, because we are so fortunate to have people like you and John, is, do that personal development, watch the trainings, plug in, because they're so beneficial. But the last thing would be the 5-day drop. The 5-day drop, and I call it the 5-day reset, I think is brilliant. And here's why. It's not just weight loss. So for the person that doesn't really gravitate to selling weight loss, that's not their thing. They like the laundry soap or like the skincare. The 5-day drop is gut health. It is all gut health, which helps skin, hair, nails, everything. I have done rolling 5-day resets for the past 4 months and dropped 40 pounds. I'm obsessed. That is the way I feel right now at 50.
Girl,
so I will say
awesome.
this. If you're focusing on gut health, which is a huge conversation topic right now, focus on those rolling 5-day resets. And, in between, that's where you help people plug into other products like the Trim, the Activate, or, all the different things, the Go, Trebiotic. And it's an upsell automatically after the 5 days, because they want to maintain that and they want to keep going. And I love that about that. So really plug into that reset.
I love that you call it a 5-day reset, and I love that you're doing these rolling 5-day resets. That's brilliant, girl. See, I learn something new every time, every call, even after 28 years. I'm always like stealing y'all's stuff. I'm like, that is good. I'm going to steal that. But that's what we do, guys. Just look at what go to the Mo Dare Movers list on the Buzz. And, guys, if you ever have any questions, I guarantee you it's answered just go to buzz.shiftingretail.com. It's always there. Guys, like I said, the announcement is going to be made on Monday, and with the Opportunity Zoom on Tuesday, with the Director Dash in Dallas next weekend. Guys, if you can't be there in person, get your virtual ticket today. Are you kidding me? $20-some bucks? That's like a cheap dinner or a glass of wine. Come on.
That's unbelievable.
Change your life, yeah, seriously. I mean, guys, I've already, John and I, if John and I are still in the trenches and we are going like balls to the wall right now for the next 3 to 6 months. We've got a new COO that was, second in command at GNC. I mean, this guy is making moves like I've never seen before. You guys, we're going to be opening countries that we, that we've been dying to get into. We're launching this promotion for April and May on Monday morning that's going to blow your freaking mind. Let's wrap up March super strong. Let's crush April and May, guys. March, April, and May are always the biggest months besides Black Friday, right? November. So this is when people want to lose weight. They want to get in shape for spring and summer. They want to start making money. Things are kind of settled down between spring breaks. And so between now and summer, this is the time to run like you've never ran before. So Lisa, thank you for sharing your story. Thank you for sharing your tips. Rachael, Brian, you guys are absolutely freaking amazing. I know we've gone a couple minutes over. Thank you guys for staying strong. I'm looking at the numbers, and y'all are still here, so you're awesome. But let's crush these last couple days of the month. Know that we always have a couple days of back day, guys. Having the next 3, 4, 5 days to wrap up March volume as strong as possible. It ain't over till it's over. And guess what? I just keep pushing till they say, Michelle, it's April. You can't put anything else in for March. I'm like, okay, fine. Put it in for April. And then you start April off strong. So I love it. Love you guys. You guys are amazing. This team is seriously the most phenomenal team I've ever worked with. I love you all to pieces. Can't wait to see those of you in Dallas next weekend. And let's crush it, guys. Let's absolutely crush it. Love you guys. Have a great weekend, everybody.